friends, Happy New Year. I'm so happy you're joining me for the 2023 start to our garden season. And I really wanted to start by talking about winter interest in the garden. It did snow here in Niagara Falls last week, and so I got out and recorded some video. Before we get started looking at that footage, I just wanted to talk about what is winter interest. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It is anything that is interesting in your garden during the winter season. So when there is snow on the ground. So I guess that mainly pertains to the northern areas that get a snow load. But if you're looking for, when it's gray and things aren't blooming in your garden, what are those things that still provide interest? So there are some categories, mainly trees, shrubs, perennials, and then actual physical structures. So as I take you through the garden, I am going to highlight those winter interest pieces that are in my own yard. And I'll be back at the end to talk about other things that I would love to have in my garden or that could be considered winter interest. All right, I'll see you at the end. So in the front, I just wanted to do this before I snow blow. I have drifts. There's snow on the sidewalk, but the major point is this maple tree. I do have a large maple tree. Other than that, I have the blue Atlas cedars that flank the fence itself. And I do have quite a few perennials that are still sticking up, showing some branch structure. So the roses, it's sort of drifted around the roses, which is not usual. We had extremely high winds. It's not that we got a lot of snow, it just drifted around them. So as you can see, there's a gap behind them between the fence and the roses, so they're not too bad. At the far end, the echinacea seed heads are still sticking up. The perennial sunflower seed heads right there. The grass, the panicum, and of course the baby blue spruce, the hydrangea, Christmas decorations still going. And I'll move down here so you can see the other. Oh, the container itself is a little bit of winter interest, but the oak leaf hydrangea is there as well. And here's this end of the fence, the panicum, the baby blue spruce, the blue Atlas cedar, the fence. Everything else is snow covered. Very Christmas winter wonderland. It is bright and sunny. It's lovely this morning. Oh, Zena's enjoying it. But it is breezy and cold. So I'm standing in the shade to try to get you a view of the fence, which if we're talking winter interest, the fence itself definitely is winter interest. And then in the back, I do have the trellis. There's the trellis that the black-eyed Susan vine climbed on, and my clematis is on. Again, I have the perennial sunflower seed heads that are still sticking up. The Veronica in the back, actually. So we have a Veronica back here that's adding. I didn't cut it back. I do need to do that on a day that gives me time. And I have hollyhocks sticking up. So I have some cleanup to do very early spring, but we'll get there. And the grates on the wall, again, next year I think I'll add some sort of Christmas decoration or holiday something, maybe some additional lights on those to add a little extra winter interest and leave them up through the winter. So, the fence is the major point of interest back here. And then, the seed heads. When you have this much snow kind of drifting, the grass has been covered up, the delphiniums that were back there, everything that was back there is covered up now. The light post does add interest as well. I do have lights on it. I may take those down and put white lights on post-Christmas, but we'll see. That might be a little chilly to do that. We'll get to it eventually. All right. All right, so we have some snow. I never did take my containers inside, so yeah, they're sitting here frozen. Pansies, I think they'll perk back up actually. It's gonna be 55 degrees by the end of the week. Tulips are covered in snow. My penstemon is sticking up. So if we look at winter interest in the backyard here, we have some penstemon. The mums I did not cut back. They are splayed. And the aster is laying down now because of the weight of the snow. The echinacea seed heads are sticking up, as well as the black-eyed Susan. The echinacea stays up a lot better, but the black-eyed Susan seed heads are still there. Looks like something came and ate the heads off the black-eyed Susan. Looks like there's little, look, they're torn. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. See, it's kind of chewed. So something was feasting. And little Henry here. Little Henry is showing a little bit of color on the bark. It's kind of nice. And I think next year, I know this coming spring I want to do something with this fence to add some winter interest to this section, and I have big plans for the side of the house this year. All right, so as I mentioned, I definitely have trees, I have shrubs, there are perennials that I have not deadheaded that are still providing winter interest. They're providing forage for birds, definitely the squirrel. Probably voles and such out there as well. I definitely have a skunk that has wandered through the yard. Not that I'm trying to provide a lot of forage for the skunk, but I'm sure he's helping himself. Anyway, the one thing I don't have in my garden that is considered winter interest would be any kind of concrete pieces. It does get maybe a little too cold here to keep concrete pieces out in the garden. But I know other areas that maybe are slightly milder but still get snow could use concrete pieces in their garden, statuary, etc. Arbors and other trellises, things like that, also provide a lot of winter interest, and just, elements that make your yard look interesting even though it's winter. And we're trying to keep our plants going through the winter. But I do think that the leaf canopy, etc., that you leave helps the plants kind of survive and make it through the winter. So hopefully that helps. I hope this explanation gave you some ideas for your garden. Let me know what your favorite winter interest piece is. Is it a physical structure, or is it a particular plant that you have in your yard? I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you would like to see more content, please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Happy New Year.